Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be doing some preventative measures for my kayak hull. So it's about time for sheepshead fishing, and I'm getting prepared for it because I'm absolutely ready. But the kayak I had before, the Native Slayer, it got pretty banged up because I did not protect it properly. This video, I am going to show you a very cheap, very easy way to protect the hull of your kayak when you're sheepshead fishing in particular. You know, you're getting around those barnacles, around those pilings, and your kayak bangs up against there, and those barnacles are not forgiving. They will tear some plastic out of your kayak. They'll mess you up pretty bad. And so this little method is going to help prevent and preserve your kayak longer if you sheepshead fish. I will say this is not my original idea. My buddy John, Faith and Fishing, I'm going to put the link to the video up here. He did this before on his kayak. And then I also saw this on another YouTuber up in North Carolina I follow all the time, Southern Reels. Jesse is a very good fisherman, and I got a lot of stuff from him. And so only thing that you need for this project is I'm going to use a 50-foot garden hose, real cheap. I got this from, I think, the Dollar Tree or somewhere, but it was only $12. You know, 2 years ago, that would have been like $5. But anyway, I digress. And then you're going to need some Gorilla Tape. You can either use the 2-inch or the 3-inch. It really doesn't matter. This will suffice. I'm going to be using a lot, so I'm hoping that this one roll will be able to wrap my entire kayak. So we'll see. To get started, guys, the real thing that you're going to do is take some alcohol. Just take some simple alcohol on a rag, and which I've already done, and just go around the kayak and just make sure there's no dirt on there, because you're going to put this tape on there and you want it to stay as long as possible. So as long as there's no dirt, debris, or anything like that on your kayak, this will help remove it. So where you want to place it, the one cool thing about the Old Town Sportsman 120 that I have here is you can see this ridge line that goes around. You want to put it on the part of the kayak that protrudes the most. And so for me, it's kind of easy. I'm going to put the garden hose right along this line all the way around my kayak, and I'm going to use that as my guide. So that's the basics. And so let's go ahead and get busy. All right, guys. So I am going to start in the back of my kayak. And the reason why is because I want to make sure that I don't interfere with my rudder. All right. And so I'm going to turn it all the way this way. And then the other thing I want to do, I did already, was to cut the end in an angle. So that way it kind of lays flat against my my kayak, so it has a little bit of a way that it's not going to hit, you know, my rudder for sure. So I'm going to start back here, and I'm going to wrap this all the way around the kayak. And so the easiest thing to do, guys, two things. One, I stretched it out already and kind of got some of the curl out of the hose already. You know how you get that mono on your reel for a long time, you have reel memory? Yeah, kind of the same thing. And so what I did, I stretched it all the way out. You can see behind me, I stretched it all the way out to the front of the kayak and wrapped it around a little bit. But I just wanted to make sure I had that done, so it just makes it a little bit easier. And then what I'm going to do first, before I actually do this, start putting this on, I'm going to take some of the Gorilla Tape and I'm actually going to mark a couple of, couple of feet down and just put some tape there, so that way once I get going, I can, go ahead and put the hose on and make sure that it's situated, properly before I actually secure it all the way down. And I only need enough to make sure that I cover, you know, that I wrap it on there and it just stays on there well. So I'm just going to do that all the way down. Put a couple of these. All right, now that I have that measured out, I'm going to go ahead and start putting this on. And I'm just going to start right here in the back. I'm going to wrap this first one. And like I said, you want to make sure that it's right on the most outward part of your kayak. So the part that protrudes the most is where you want it. I'm just going to start walking back. Placing the tape a couple feet apart also really helps with getting the hose lined up on the protruding edge of the kayak. All right, guys. So now that I have this taped up, lined up where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and start adding the tape. So what I'm going to do the top portion all the way around. And so it may have a little bit of wrinkles in it. That's okay. It's not going to be one of those beautiful things, but I just want to protect my kayak. I also do want to make it look as nice as possible and as presentable, so if I'm not sheepshead fishing and I'm going out there, it doesn't look all crazy. So let's go ahead and get started. Since the back was the starting point, I put a little bit of extra tape back there, and it went underneath my grab handle as well. You do notice that the corner is going to crinkle a little bit, and that is fine. I just want to make sure that tape was adhering to the kayak itself. Having the kayak elevated really helps in applying the hose and the tape, and it saves your back. With the 2-inch tape, I was making sure that I was putting the tape halfway on the hose, and that was plenty to be able to adhere to the kayak. Now that I have the top one, I'm just going to work my way backwards with the bottom one. Like the back, the front crinkled a little bit, but I was really pressing down to make sure that it was adhering to the kayak. And as I was going back towards the back, I was really pressing firmly on the tape and the hose to make sure it wasn't moving. So what I'm doing now, guys, I am just going back over it and making sure that it's stuck all the way. I'm making it nice and tight up against there. Make sure the hose has no play and all of the tape is adhering to the actual kayak. So up here in the front, I'm gonna give it a little bit of extra love. Normally when I'm sheepshead fishing, I'm hitting the front and the back of my kayak a lot more, or the extreme sides where I'm close to. So I wanna make sure that this is secured because this is gonna take a lot of damage. I know the front of my old kayak had a lot of damage. So I'm gonna put a couple of extra pieces of tape up here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna start from here where this piece of tape is, and I'm just gonna angle it, go over top of it. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna crisscross it right up here in the front. I'm gonna crisscross it again underneath, up and around the front. So as you can see, it's nice and secure up there in the front. So the other thing I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna dress this up a little bit. So you see how these are sticking out a little bit further? I'm just gonna pull these down. And cut them. Cut it a little bit closer like that so it looks a little bit more presentable. So I'm gonna do that all the way around the kayak as well. So that's it, guys. A pretty easy and pretty inexpensive method to secure your kayak, to keep it from getting beat up, make it last longer. So I think in total, I spent $7 for the tape and the $12 for the water hose, and just a little bit of time to do this. Doesn't take long. I didn't care if it took a couple of hours, because that couple of hours is gonna make my kayak last a couple of years longer. So that's what it's about, finding those inexpensive ways to make things better for your fishing experience. So I hope you guys did like this video. I plan to take this thing out and go sheepshead fishing at the end of this week. And so I'm pretty excited. I know that the bait shop that I'm going to has some fiddler crabs. I just don't have time to go catch them. I actually have a couple of videos where I've actually caught my own bait. I'm actually going to buy a couple dozen fiddler crabs. I'm going to go sheepshead fishing real soon. Really appreciate you guys hanging with me while I did this video. If you did like it, or if you have another method that you use to make your kayak a little bit secure, to put bumpers on it or whatever you do, leave it in the comments. That way myself and others can see exactly different ideas that are out there. Like I said, if you did like this video, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. If you've never subscribed before, come on, man. Go ahead and subscribe. Really appreciate it. It really helps me out. And then share my channel with others so they can see the type of content I'm putting out. All right, guys, till next time, remember God loves you. God bless you. May He keep you. Peace.